Hello, everybody. My name is Benjamin Bloom. Welcome along. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Show, here to cover probably the most relaxed, chilled out game of the championship running. It is the penultimate game of game week 45. We thought it would have everything riding on it. However, Leeds are already confirmed champions. Derby already confirmed not to be making the playoffs. So, what do we call it? The Leeds United title celebration, the Derby's first pre-season friendly for next year. It's certainly got a bit of a different vibe to it now. And when you see the team that Leeds have put out, you'll understand that a few changes and a few first teamers given a rest rightfully after their promotion today. Make yourself known. If you're in the chat, stick the thumbs up button and comment. I'm looking for your predictions, which I think some of them might be changing now based upon the team. You don't need to give me the score. Just go home, draw, or away. As ever, you can support the channel via the super chat feature by liking or subscribing here. And we have reached 10,000 subscribers. Thank each and every one of you who have subscribed. Brilliant stuff. As ever, we will be here right now, obviously, for the 1:30 pre-match stream. We'll be back at half-time around 2:50 and then at full-time for reaction to this one. Keep your comments coming in and definitely get your predictions here. Game week 45 so far looks a little something like this. On Friday night, that late goal by Emile Smith-Rowe gave Huddersfield a win that got Leeds United promoted. And then on Saturday, a goal from Lee Gregory for Stoke against Brentford meant that Leeds were champions by this game. Remember, they were due to be scoring 1 point to get promoted today, but all done. Both West Brom and Stoke coming a cropper in their games this weekend. Killer moment late on in that game for Wigan there. 93rd minute equaliser from Charlton, meaning Wigan are still up to their necks in it. We'll have a look at the table in just a minute. Swansea 1, Bristol City 0. Swansea still chasing. Huge win for Luton down at the bottom there. Borough 1, Cardiff 3. Borough not out of the woods yet. Preston 2, Birmingham 0. A bit of a dead rubber. Birmingham maybe timing their awful finish to the season just right, because I think they've got enough points. And we've got some on-the-beach beauties there at the bottom there. Look at that. QPR, Millwall, although Millwall weren't on the beach. 4-3. Blackburn Reading, that's an on-the-beach special, isn't it? 4-3 as well. And then Fulham 5, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Can you tell it's the end of the season, everybody? Today, Derby versus Leeds, which is seemingly nothing more than the Leeds title celebration now. And the last one there, look down at the bottom, Barnsley versus Forest. We'll have a look at the table in a jiffy. Barnsley can still do something here. Let's see how that left the table yesterday. So Leeds still the only team in this top half. I suppose Derby are in the top half there, down the bottom there in 12th. Leeds can still get 93 points, but all the work is done. Mission accomplished, job done. So I guess they are planning for the Premier League. Derby, well, they can still push themselves up into a top 10 finish with sort of 4 or 6 points from the last 2 games. Just quickly on that playoff picture there, Swansea within 3 points, but very much now in Cardiff's hands. And Forest, they just need a point today to confirm playoffs against Barnsley. More interesting down at the bottom of the table there. This transfer mark table does include a 12-point deduction for Wigan. So, look, a Barnsley win there would put them to 46 points today. But as it stands, 43, Hull are looking like they're going down. They've been very bad for a long time now. 24 defeats is the most in the league, as you can see. Wigan, wow. The difference there between 46 and 48 points is massive. It would have put them above both Luton and Charlton, and obviously it would have taken that point as well off Charlton. So huge late goal there, Macaulay Bonne, wasn't it, at the end of that game. Then looking further up, statistically now, Birmingham, Borough, Huddersfield, etc., are all safe, aren't they? So we're looking at a final day showdown. We'll see what Barnsley do today, but 3 from 5. And I guess, Barnsley could go down today, couldn't they? I guess they're all in it and all have a chance of surviving, but Barnsley have to win. Let's have a little look at today's game then. So it's Derby versus Leeds, and it's a fairly needly one, as we all know. Keep your comments coming in. I was there at this game, the 11th of January, 2019. Great performance by Leeds there. That was Jack Clark's coming out party. He was absolutely brilliant at that game. They battered Derby to win that one 2-0. But we all know that just before, in the midweek, a Leeds member of staff was caught spying outside the Derby ground. Now, there was no specific ruling against this, but it was thought to be not within the spirit of the game of, I forget which kind of law they brought it up on. But Derby weren't very happy after the game. Frank Lampard said, at least on a sportsman level, it's bad, in my opinion. If we're going to start talking about culturally, I did it somewhere else and it was fine, then that doesn't work for me because I don't believe it's fine. So this really kicked off the rivalry between Derby and Leeds. And then lo and behold, there's the end of season table from last season. And as we all know, third meets sixth in the playoffs. We then got the fabled "Stop Crying Frank Lampard" chant from the Leeds fans. And it was all very funny and very lovely. And they won the first leg 1-0 with great control, played a very, very good game. But Kemar Roofe is then injured ahead of the second leg. And we all know what happened, don't we? El Collapso from Leeds there, the mother of all psychological collapses. Derby get the win there. Marriott scoring after Berardi's red card. Incredible turnaround. That from 2-0 up with literally 45 minutes of a two-legged tie to go. And then that goal before half-time, one straight after, and then just the madness of that second half. And in the dressing room, here are the Derby players singing "Stop Crying Frank Lampard." So it's been quite the rivalry, and there's a lot of Leeds fans who are very happy today that Leeds can come as champions. Are we going to see the fabled guard of honour from the Derby players? I suspect we probably should. We've seen this happen before where rival teams sort of, actually not rivals by position, it's first and 12th, but certainly a needly rivalry here. And we're thinking maybe these Derby players have to give the guard of honour. One thing that should be said is that a lot of the players involved in the 4-2 playoff semi-final are not here anymore. They're not at Derby. Obviously, the three loanees, Tamori, Mason Mount and Harry Wilson. Jack Marriott, the scorer of the winning goal there. Richard Keogh, the captain. None of them here. Obviously, Frank Lampard and Jody Morris aren't there either. So I think it's club-to-club revenge and schadenfreude, or however you want to term it. But in terms of the actual players, well, Leeds will obviously now be meeting Frank Lampard, who's the Chelsea manager, in the Premier League next season. My opinion, for what it's worth, is that football banter is football banter. Now, I don't get involved in football banter for one simple reason, because you cannot win. And the only way to not lose at football banter is to not get involved. So I never lose at football banter, but I never win either. I never get those moments. And the rules of football banter are that you lord it over your opponents at any opportunity. So your team could be bottom of the league and lost all of their games. They could put in 3-0. And the second that own goal goes in for your team, up you go and you laud it, and that's the rule. So football banter rules mean that Leeds fans can have a pop at Derby today, but it also means that Derby fans were okay to have a pop after, and Leeds fans were okay to have a pop. It's kind of, if there's no hateful behaviour or violence going on, it's kind of open season with football banter. So that, as I see it, is the rules of football banter, that anything goes really, and any opportunity whatsoever, you laud it over your rivals. So I have no problem with the Leeds fans lauding it over Derby today, as long as they have no problem that Derby lauded it over them. And so it goes on. And next time they meet, whoever wins will then laud it over the other. That's the way football banter works. And I leave it well alone, I have to say, but feel free in the comments today. So here are your teams. Derby with pretty much a first choice lineup there, although we have seen George Evans in the centre-back position mainly. In fact, given the suspensions, this is one of the that Lawrence and Waghorn have both had suspensions. This is probably one of the strongest Derby lineups there's been for a while. Max Lowe as well missing at left back, but Roos in goal. Ben Hamer not in there. Remember that big mistake, against Brentford by Hamer. Bogle, the excellent right back. Davis, experienced. Clark, good passer out from the back. Forsyth is the back four. Rooney and Bird, who've been excellent. I'm sure we'll get a tight close-up of Wayne Rooney's face because it's Sky if we do see the guard of honour given. But Bird and Bogle, particularly two of the excellent Derby youngsters who they'll be relying on next season. Then Waghorn, Sibley, another excellent youngster, and Lawrence, the three off the front. They haven't managed to get those three out in the same game. Probably, I'm trying to think, probably since they played Millwall at the start, the return of lockdown. Remember, Derby's form off a cliff a little bit since then. Chris Martin will play up top for them. I will just throw up there. There is the form. You can see Leeds outstanding there. 16 points in the last 6, and Derby off a cliff there. 3 straight defeats and a draw, 1 point in the last 4. Those numbers there, however, 61% chance of a Leeds win, are predicated on this season's championship team playing against Derby. But as we all guessed, they are not. And here is your Leeds United team, or Infogol's guess of how your Leeds United team is going to line up. And it's not a bad guess from what I can see. Remember, Berardi has played all the way across the back four. White has played in midfield. Dallas has played literally everywhere. Alioski has played full back and left back as well. However, I think that might well be right. And whether or not it's an actual 4-2-3-1, I'd imagine Dallas will actually play centre midfield and Shackleton, or vice versa. One of them will be in the Calvin Phillips spot, and one of them will be in the Mateusz Klich spot. Incidentally, Mateusz Klich is on an ungodly number of consecutive games. That streak will be broken today. So, also, big news, looking goal there. Kiko Casilla, his first Leeds appearance back since the ban. So he plays in goal. We think, or Infogol think, Berardi right back. That doesn't look a bad guess, really. Other than Dallas, no one else can play right back in that team. White and Struijk. So Liam Cooper is not in today. Struijk actually made a difference, didn't he, when he came on in the game against Barnsley? The job needed doing, and he actually did it, didn't he? Sitting in central midfield as a defensive sort of holding guy. First time I'd seen him, and I thought he looked pretty decent. Barry Douglas, obviously brought in 2 seasons ago, having gone up with Wolves, but never quite managed to play himself in into Bielsa's first 11. Not helpful that Stuart Dallas is able to play that position. You would imagine it's a 4-1-4-1 rather than the 4-2-3-1. So maybe Dallas in there. Maybe it'll be Shackleton. I do not know, but I'd imagine one of Dallas and Shackleton will be holding, and one will be in central midfield. Then Poveda, first start for him, probably down the right. Hernandez in central midfield, along with, it'd probably be Shackleton, won't it, given that Hernandez will need looking after in there. Alioski front left, and Tyler Roberts, who last Leeds game I was at live was at Hull, and he came on with, I think, 20, 30 minutes to go and scored twice. So be interesting opportunity up top for him. Remember, that is not the first choice Leeds team. No Meslier, no Cooper, no Ayling, Dallas normally at left back, no Phillips, no Klitsch, no Costa, he would be injured anyway, no Harrison, no Bamford. So let's see, for those nerds like me who are interested in things like this, the Bielsa system, the process, everybody knowing how to do everybody else's jobs. Well, if they can all just slot in and do it, obviously that normally works better when you have 2 or 3 players max doing it, whereas today you would say Casilla, Struick, Berardi, Douglas, Shackleton, Poveda, Alioski. So 7 of those guys are not really in the first 11 that has played out the season. Let's have a look at the benches, and then we will get to your many, many comments. Some more youngsters on the bench there. Knight, Buchanan and Whittaker. Knight's been filling in well. Max Lowe is on the bench there. I said he wasn't around, and so is George Evans. So interested to see why maybe he's gone for Syfe and Davis there, a bit more experience. Jack Marriott is there as well, scorer of 2 goals in that famed playoff game. So plenty of options there, Shinnie and Joseph Soon too. On the Leeds side, look on the right there, and most of those first team players I was just talking about, Ayling, Cooper, Bamford, Harrison and Klitsch, all there. Whether he looks as a chance to give Casey, Bogus, Davis, etc. a chance or not, I don't know. We all think we know that Bielsa is the ultimate football purist and wouldn't kind of look at a game as a friendly when it's actually a competitive game. So maybe we see some of those first teamers if it is not going the way of Leeds. What I would say is that Derby team is more practiced than that Leeds team. So it might be an interesting watch, although I think the pendulum of favourites, despite the quality of some of the Leeds players that have come in, pendulum as favourites, they probably goes to Derby now, couldn't it? Let's get some of your comments in. I'm sure we're going to have some very, very chilled out Leeds fans here, aren't we? Has Bielsa signed a new contract yet? I'm not aware that he has, but I'd imagine he'll decide exactly when he wants to do that, and he'll do that at the end of the season. Champions, yes, indeed. Lee says, it wouldn't surprise me to see the kids on the park. Not many kids as such, really. I suppose Shackleton's had a go. Poveda's been at other clubs, hasn't he? So, but yeah, certainly some reserves there. Rick says 11 beat-up players on the pitch now. He's going to blood more youngsters. Yes, indeed. And Steve says Derby v Leeds reserves. Does have that air to it, doesn't it? Great to see Poveda starting. Yeah, be interesting. He's certainly got the reputation, hasn't he, from Barcelona and Brentford and Manchester City, I think, is where he's been, and they all have reputations for Brentford don't do that because they don't have an academy, but certainly from being able to spot talent there. Do Derby have to give a guard of honour? Well, no, they don't, but I don't know, it's one of those time-honoured traditions, one of the done thing. So we'll see whether they do. I think probably will. No, they don't, says Badger. Yes, they do. It's soccer's law. George, who was a happy chappy, says afternoon. Happy chappy. West Brom still in the box seat there. Charles says if Barnsley win today on Super Wednesday, 4 places in the league will be decided. Yes, and I think we may well be doing a watch along, probably a relegation watch along here, and I'm happy to pay for a feed of whoever's games is the most vital and have that on in the background. AJR says Derby should win this, second team out. In theory, probably shouldn't they? But let's see how well these players know the process. And look, if I'm a Leeds reserve player, by the way, my team's just got up to the Premier League, I'm looking at this as an opportunity. Can I put down a really decent performance and, Tyler Roberts or someone, can I start making my claim to actually be a starter in the Premier League? So Yes. Chris says, congratulations to Leeds from a Derby fan. Well said. Badger says, hey, Ben, what is the best way of paying you? I was going to do a super chat, but I hear YouTube, etc., take about 50%. They don't take 50%. But anything you want to contribute is absolutely fine by me. Badger super chat is fine. You can also do Patreon as well. They take a small percentage, but everywhere does. But thank you, very kind gesture. Jason says, still a strong Leeds side for Vader and Shackleton. I like Shackleton. He looks like he's going to be a player, doesn't he? Colm, 3-3. Are we going to get a... this is now an on the beach special, isn't it, for both teams? So could get a 3-3 there. Team selection, a big middle finger to Derby. No, we don't respect you. I'm not sure it's a middle finger, Max, even though it could be perceived in that way. It's a sensible thing to do, really, isn't it? The players have done their jobs with 2 games to go. Give them a rest. The team looks competitive, doesn't it? So, yeah. Leeds fan from Maine, USA. Congratulations to Leeds. Well said, and hello in Maine. Daniel, Mike's been on the sauce. Enzio, thanks, Chris, the Derby fan. The first team is apparently still drunk. I'm sure we've all seen the Twitter videos, haven't we? 2-0 Derby from a Leeds fan. Russell says, let them have a win. Job done for Leeds. Did you see the tweet Leeds did? Yes, I did. Leeds admin coming up with some background looking through binoculars. All fun and games. Did I hear the angry Derby fan on TalkSport? No, I didn't, but there we go. My question to Leeds fans, how much money are they going to spend during the summer? We talked about this a lot, Chris. As long as some of it's on Ben White, I think most Leeds fans would be happy, won't they? Leeds win, regulation 3 points on Thursday, promoted Friday, champions Saturday, Premier League, Leeds United play a pre-season friendly against Championship Derby. There we go. Looks like White will be staying at Brighton. Andrew makes a reasonable point that could happen. Just imagine if Fulham robbed second place on the final day. Well, the only possible scenario that meant Fulham could even have a chance has happened, i.e. Huddersfield beating West Brom and Stoke beating Brentford. So there you go. Ewan says Brian Clough would not be happy giving Leeds a guard of honour. I probably don't think he would he? No, given his history with Derby and his history with Leeds. Watch out for Pervader today. Yeah, looking forward to it. MW says Derby are not our rivals, not anywhere near our rivals. We just live rent-free in their head, bless them. Yeah, the whole rent-free in the head thing, again, it goes into football banter, doesn't it? Whoever's on top at that particular time is always rent-free in the other person's head. But yes, at the moment, it's a rent-free day, isn't it? Marriott is here. Yes, I wonder if he'll get on. Have to give a guard of honour. That's standard. I think Ian's using the word have in it's the done thing. But yeah, no rule if they don't. It would be... in terms of the football banter, it would be the only way Derby can get one up today, wouldn't it? Just by not doing it. Or turning their backs. Oh, that would be hilarious, wouldn't it? Shocking. There we go. You must understand, we as Leeds don't care, but we'll have fun in this game. You'll see a team that plays for Derby for fun. Russell says that's so true about football banter, isn't it? There we go. TS says, great to see Krissy starting after all the abuse he's received. I think it's right to give him the benefit of the doubt. And even if the allegations are true, everyone deserves a second chance. Well said, TS May. In 2020, no one seems to get a second chance on anything, even if they have had infractions. It's all cancel, throw them to the witches, or throw the witches, whatever the saying is. So, yeah, maybe some truth in that. Everyone can make a mistake, can't they? Mr. Cool! Are Leeds going to take it easy, or will they push for the pride? I think the team selection says they may be taking it easy. So Tim says spying wasn't against the law or the law of football, but didn't DC get about that? So not a law of football, but they should give a guard of honour. Yeah, there wasn't actual specific wording about spying. The what Leeds were charged with, was it unsporting conduct or something like that? They found it to be wrong, but realised they didn't have it written down. So I'm sure sure everything's been updated now to have that in. I'm a football fan. I'm not a hater. Leeds are the best team in the league as long as Forest stay in the playoffs. There we go. Heretic says, wonder how many cameras will be on Kiko. Oh my God. For the Black Lives Matter, Neil. lots of them, I suspect. But remember, Rooney is there, and Rooney does tend to draw every single camera, don't they? Quick plug, as ever, support the channel by using Super Chat over here, subscribe on Patreon, hit like, get your comments in, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for helping us reach 10,000 subscriptions. I can get my missus to change that little plaque thing there that she made for me. Are the EFL waiting to see how far ahead Sheffield Wednesday are ahead of Wigan before? Well, looks like that's what they did last season with Birmingham, and this season with Diddley Macclesfield as well. So possibly, allegedly, we couldn't say that, of course, could we? Craig says, I knew there would be changes, all good, apart from seeing Castillo in goal. Never wanted to see him in a Leeds shirt again, let alone between the sticks. Yeah, I thought there might be a scenario that Krissy never played for Leeds again, but yeah, he's in today. So Chris says he's going to go for a 2-2. John says, I think Dallas is right back, so that would put Berardi centre back and Struijk defensive midfield. Look, any of those things are possible. Joshua Ars agrees. Yeah, exactly what I just said. Struijk in midfield, Dallas right back, bro. Look, it's this proper total footballers. They can all play any position, really, can't they? I've got a stream on here. I think I'm probably about 30 seconds behind, so we'll see very, very soon whether we get this guard of honour everyone's talking about. Irene is chilling. I'm going to enjoy this. Where's the wine? I'm on the Guinness. It is. What time is it? It's 1:56. Can I really start on the wine? By the way, the food delivery came and there was a Pinot Noir in it. So maybe we'll have a little tipple later on. Relax on the Casilla bashing, lads. He's made some mistakes, not just in football. Deserves a chance to come back from it. And nothing game against Derby is perfect. Yeah, if you're going to throw him in any game, this is the one, isn't it? Ron says the opposite. Casilla should never play for Leeds again. Hope this doesn't mean we're planning on taking him up as number one. I think Medley is going to be the guy, isn't he? Unless Casilla is incredible. But Josh says, can't back racism, unfortunately. Just quickly on this Casilla thing, my position the whole way along is, yes, of course, I am against any form of racism. Given that the statement said conflicting things, I myself would need to have heard him say it for me to. I will only accuse somebody of something if I can see evidence that they've done it. But I do understand the difficulty when it's one person's word against the other. I don't think anyone is condoning anything like that. Christoph Berra? No, Berardi maybe sent about. Yeah, a few people are suggesting that. How much money did you make from the stream the other day when Leeds went up? And loads. It was absolutely fantastic. And we are looking like we're in a position to keep pushing on this derby. Wearing next season shirts, by the look. They're now coming out. Are they going to? They seem to be coming out early. So it looks like this Guard of Honour is going to be happening. Yes. Derby players are lining up for a Guard of Honour. So are the officials. It is definitely happening. Teapot says your team set up for Leeds is wrong, mate. It's not mine, Teapot. So write in for goal a strongly worded letter. Just the one that was printed there. Right, here come the Leeds players. There's Hernandez and Berardi and Struijk. We'll just have a look across here. Is Ben going to acknowledge that the Cowleys have been sacked? Have they? News to me. Let me go on Twitter. Ian says Cowley's sacked. Oh my God. Peaky says Cowley's sacked. Have they actually been? I did not know that. Wow. Here comes the Guard of Honour, guys. Leeds players now coming through, all the subs. Hernandez is acknowledging everybody as they clap through. Struijk, a few of the Leeds players are clapping back to say thank you. So Derby have done the right thing there, haven't they? Guard of Honour. Wayne Rooney's clapping. Look, Wayne Rooney, if anybody knows a good team when he sees a good team, and he's clapping one right now. So I think that's good. The right thing have been done. Right, sorry, I'm just having a look to see if this Danny Cowley story is true. Huddersfield have relieved Danny Cowley of his duties as manager. Rob Statton. Wow. I'll do some reading in the first half on that one. I do not understand that remotely. So we'll have a little look and we'll see if we can come up with something there. Don't understand that in the slides. We'll do a video on that later. Right. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Brilliant stuff as ever. We will be back at half time. See what there is to talk about there. See how this 7 reserves Leeds players team works. Enjoy the first half, and I will see you all back at half time, and we'll work on some reaction for the Cowleys. That seems rather odd, doesn't it? There we go. Thanks for watching. See you at half time. Over and out.